And the Osu game spear, I'm sure you guys have heard of this Osu player named Cloutfull, aka Chudson. He is currently number 3, and you guys have probably heard him from his crazy speed plays and also his recent play on Snow Goose, which is a 2k pp choke, a 2000 pp choke on a speed map on 3 mod of 98% AC. It's a pretty insane play. If you guys have not seen it, I would recommend you guys watch it. But he's basically known for that recently. Cloutfull, it happened a few days ago, I think it was like a day ago, where he set that play and the whole Osu world was on fire, and we might expect a 2k pp record soon, right? Well, maybe not. So I just want to preface this video by saying that I believe that Cloutfull is innocent until proven guilty. And this just goes for anyone. I'm not really out here trying to op him. I'm just trying to give the objective evidence for what seems to be the case here and what people are thinking here. So what I am referring to in this video, if Cloutfull is cheating, is that there was an Osu report on Cloutfull about a day ago, and it essentially went through Cloutfull potentially using a relax bot, because it seems that his holder time circle distribution is extremely uniform within this one MS called 63 MS. And I'll just read you guys the post really quick to push y'all on. Hello there. I'm sure this report comes as a surprise, but I have strong evidence leading to Cloutfull using a relax bot. There's a few things that are suspicious, considering his fast rise and no tapping sounds despite using a microphone during the streams, but there is more concrete evidence in the replays themselves that I would like to present. In all of Cloutfull's replays, his average circle hold time distribution almost always hits within 63 milliseconds, barely branching off from this number. Perhaps it could be an issue with his RT configuration, RT for rapid trigger, which I would like to see tested, but I have doubts when comparing it to other speed players also using rapid trigger. Here are a few examples comparing top speed players below. So this post essentially goes through some popular speed maps, and essentially goes through Snow Goose, which is recently Cloutfull's top play, Juvenile, Rogue Limitation, and Ascension to Heaven. All very common stream and speed maps, and he essentially compared this circle hold distribution between different speed players as well. So Sitho, Akali Bed, and Atrina. So it's not the biggest sample size here, but these are pretty respected speed players. And if you look at the hold distribution, Cloutfull circles hold distribution is consistently skewed towards 63 MS. That's where a lot of the taps are. For the other players, Sitho, Akali Bed, and Atrina, their circle hold distributions are more normally distributed. They're not as skewed as Cloutfull's, and they're more normally distributed at around 100 MS-ish. And Atrina in Ascension to Heaven, his play on there actually is kind of weird, where it kind of has 2 peaks. I forgot what the proper term is in statistics, but it has 2 peaks like this, which is pretty weird, but it's nothing that crazy since it's still kind of normally distributed if it's like that. But essentially, Cloutfull has a very skewed circle hold distribution. A lot of his tap seems to hover around 63 MS. Oh, sorry. But let me just read the rest of this post here. These are just a few replays that show the unusual and unnatural coincidence where he consistently holds the key for 63 milliseconds when other RT players are not doing the same. While I only compared a few players in this thread, you may check yourself on any replay of this and get the same results as I have. To me, this looks like a blatant case of someone using a relax bot that has gone unnoticed. If this is an RT issue, I believe the community is owed a live play, considering he is yet to make a public one, despite some commenters here saying he'll just give one if you ask, which I guess nobody has done. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the thread, you can't hear him tapping during his live streams, causing more suspicion. So the document here mainly gives the evidence that perhaps he's cheating because his skewer hold distribution is evenly distributed at 63 milliseconds, which is pretty weird. And also Cloutfull, you can't hear his tapping during his live streams, and he's never done a live play before. So those are the evidence right there. And there's also the possibility that it could be a hardware issue with his routine, where it makes him consistently tap at 63 milliseconds. And from what I've seen of this, I've never really heard of this type of thing before, of rapid trigger. I believe that on the same post, somebody made a reply saying, hey, we actually replicated this with our own routine settings, but I'm not exactly sure on how accurate that is. But essentially what came from this is that Cloutfull on Twitter was like, okay, let me just cook with a live play really quick. And it has been quite a while, a couple hours since he's actually made that post. He hasn't actually sent the whole live play yet as of my recording here, but that's basically what's going on here. But besides that, there's also a bit of a funny thing where Beidou perhaps might be trying to get his rep back after the worst Hard Rock player incident, where Beidou, Xylus, and Grandmaster were trying to op on worst Hard Rock player and say, hey, this guy's a cheater. And Beidou was out here sighted like a zoo animal looking through the Chud Sun Snow Goose replay. Maybe he's out here trying to get his rep back. I don't really know. Maybe we're gonna see the Cloutfull extermination squad. But besides all of that yap there about if Cloutfull is cheating, I just want to give my thoughts on it. As I said in the beginning of the video, I think Cloutfull is innocent until proven guilty. As I am recording this video, he hasn't posted a live play. Maybe Cloutfull has the rhythmic sense of a god and can consistently tap at 63 milliseconds every time he plays. It's highly unlikely though, because there's always going to be human error. There's going to be some sort of variation when you tap. So I don't really know about that, but perhaps it really is a hardware issue. Someone is out here giving their evidence on it. But let's give the case where, hey, maybe Cloutfull actually is using a relax spot. And in that case, then it would explain Cloutfull being able to consistently tap 63 milliseconds. And you can't even hear his tappings during the stream. Maybe his mic is not very sensitive and doesn't pick up the tapping sounds as well. Maybe it could just be a coincidence right there. But in my opinion, I definitely think it's a bit suspicious considering what's going on here with all of the tapping distributions, comparing it between other top players where Cloutfull is consistently around 63 milliseconds. But I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't really have anything against Cloutfull. I'm not really trying to op him out here, but that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video though. Perhaps we'll see if Cloutfull is actually cheating or not within the next couple days. But yeah, I gotta go home now because it's freaking late as frick, but I'll see y'all.